scratch your eyes. You are really seeing the most extraordinary finish here.
Gomes looking for the overlap. Alba inside. It's Messi!
Yes, it's a beautiful Saturday morning here at Inioluwa, and we're live at the studios of iPower 102.7 FM. This is your delectable sports program, Sports Diaries, and I am Sports Diva. And this very beautiful morning, of course, I will be taking you on an eventful ride through the world of sports, ranging from the latest sports update, expert analyses, and exciting highlights in the sporting arena. And now let's get started with the MPFL, where I've got this on Bendel Insurance as they signed free agent Akuneto. Bendel Insurance have completed the signing of a forward Chidi Akuneto. Akuneto joined Benin Arsenal as a free agent. He previously played for Nigerian Premier Football League MPFL Giants Eyimba. Akuneto made 122 appearances and scored 34 goals into the MPFL. His arrival will also improve the 2023 President Federation Cup Champions attacks. The 28-year-old once represented Nigeria at the under-23 level. Yes, moving on, still in the MPFL, where we've got this on Insurance as they stick 9 games unbeaten and run against Shooting Stars as the race of continental places and survival intensified. March 22 of the Nigerian Premier Football League arrived with defining fixtures that could recharge their title race from Ibadan to Maya and Enugu. Traditional heavyweights and ambitious contenders collide in a weekend that promises drama, with the second stanza of the 2025-26 Nigerian Premier Football League now firmly underway. Match 22 takes center stage with mouth-watering fixtures across the country. The standard attraction is the clash in Ibadan, where Shooting Stars face an informed Bendel Insurance side riding a 9-game unbeaten run. Elsewhere, Abia Warriors host Nasarawa United in a top 4 showdown, while Rangers International welcome a resurgent Warri Wolves in Enugu. At the Lake of Salami Stadium, Shooting Stars have plenty to ponder as they attempt to halt Bendel Insurance relentless surge. The Oluyole Warriors struggled for consistency in the recent weeks and slipped at 7th place. They slipped at 7th place with 32 points following a 2-0 defeat to Bayelsa United last weekend. That result saw them drop from 4th, highlighting their uneven form In contrast, Kennedy Boboye Bendel Insurance are gathering momentum at just the right time. The Benin As now sit sixth on the same 32 point, but boasts 3 consecutive away wins and 7 wins from the late 9 matches, avoiding defeat in Ibadan. Would further down the line the ambition of breaking into the top 3 and sustaining their remarkable run. In Umaya, Abia Warriors and Nasarawa United square off in one of the weekend's most so consequential encounters. Second place Abia Warriors with 37 points. Was fourth place Nasarawa United with 35 points. In a fixture that led with recent history, the solid Miners and the draw in Umaya last season, and as the Umechi Neke boys earlier in the campaign. But Abia Warriors came into the clash unbeaten in their last 6 games, with league leaders Rivers United absent from the domestic action due to their CAF Champions League engagement in Zambia. Abia Warriors, no victory could cut the gap at the summit to the single point at Nasarawa United. Meanwhile, arrived buoyed about the morale boosting 2-1 home win over Niger Tornadoes that snapped a 4-game winless streak and will be eager to test their credentials on the road. And Nogo also promises fireworks as Rangers International Oswari Wolves at the Cathedral. The Flying Antelopes are unbeaten in their last 2 games and claim their vital away win against Kun Khalifat in their most recent outing. Fifth on the log with 33 points. Rangers could climb as high as thought depending on result elsewhere, with both Ikorodu City and Nasarawa United facing tricky away fixtures. Wari Wolves, however, and no pushover, 8 on the table with 30 points. The Seasiders have shown class signs of revival, going unbeaten in their last 3 matches, including a back-to-back win over Wiki Terrorist and Castina United. With 4 away victories already this season, they will fancy their chances of springing a surprise in Enugu. In Maduguri, El Kanemi Warriors host Ikorodu City in a fixture that with contrasting motivations. El Kanemi are keen to bounce back from another 1-0 loss to play 2 United, while Ikorodu City are fully of confidence after Agent Kwara United to maintain 3rd place with 35 points. Elsewhere, Remo Stars begin live at the Lake Salami Stadium, Ibadan, as they welcome Kun Khalifat, while Wiki Terrorists take on Kano Pillars in Bauchi. Castina United would play to United at the Muhammadu Diko Stadium. Niger Tornadoes also battle Nyimba in Mina, and Barao FC will test their resurgence against Bayelsa United. El Kanemi Warriors versus Ikorodu City, Remo Stars versus Khalifat FC, Shooting Stars versus Insurance, Wiki versus Canopilas, Rangers versus Oswari Wolves, Castina United versus Plateau United, Kwara United versus Rivers United, Abia Warriors versus Nasarawa United, Tornadoes versus Gimba, and finally Barao FC versus Bayelsa United. Yes, moving on, still on Sports Diaries, of course. Moving on to the Afghan, where I've got this from the Birmingham manager, as he hails Osai Samuel and says, "You made Nigeria proud." Birmingham City manager Chris Davies has praised Bite Osai Samuel, who played a fullback for the Super Eagles. He hailed the player for his performance during the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Osai Samuel was very important as Nigeria won the bronze medal by beating Egypt 4-2 in the 3rd place match on penalties. The former Fenerbahce player played well on defense and also helped attack, making Super Eagles one of the most aggressive team in the tournament. During the pre-match press conference, Davies praised Osai Samuel performance for Nigeria, saying he performed well even though the Super Eagles sadly missed out on the AFCON title. Davies told newsmen, he said, and I quote, "He's back which is good news. I congratulated him on his performance and Nigeria for making it to the tournament. Although they did not win the competition, they made their country proud and Brad really enjoyed being part of it. So we are happy to have him back. Osai Samuel was taken out of the third place match against Egypt after he hurt his hamstring in the second half. This made people wonder if he would be prepared for the games at St. Andrews Stadium. The Blues manager shared an update on his fitness, saying the Nigerian player has been checked by the club doctors and is ready to play against Stoke City. He further said on our coach, he is available. That is Osai Samuel. There was a little issue, but we have him checked. We have had him checked out, and he's trained today, so he is okay. Osai Samuel, a 28-year-old, has been part of the club last 9 games, and he's eager to keep up his good performance against Stoke City today. Yes, moving on. We have got this on the EPL. I've got this on Teta as he dismisses Guardiola's claim about Arsenal. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has dismissed Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola's claim that the Gunners are the best team in the world. In the pre-match press conference before the Manchester City Premier League clash with Wolves, Guardiola expressed his belief that Arsenal is the best team in the world. However, when questioned about Guardiola's remarks, Arteta downplayed the compliment, asserting that his team cannot yet be considered the best due to their lack of major trophies. Arteta said, and I quote, I do not know about that. I think we're a team that wants to be constantly better, and we are doing a lot of things right, and we are far from perfect, of course. To be related to the best team in the world, you have to win a lot of trophies, and we've not. And that was coming from Guardiola. Yes, moving on, we have got this on Onuachu as he returns to Trabzonspor with a bang after Afghan Super Eagles striker Paul Onuachu has returned to his club side Trabzonspor with a bang as they won the 2-1 against Kasim Pasa on Friday. Onuachu came on a substitute to score his first goal for the team since coming back from the 2025 African Cup of Nations. He replaced Kasim Olaigbe in the 46th minute and quickly scored a goal in the 51st minute, assisted by Christian Now Ole. This brings Onuachu's total number of goals from 2025-2026 season to 12. The Nigerian forward was part of Super Eagles team that earned the bronze medal at the 2025 African Cup of Nations held in Morocco. During the tournament, Onuachu scored a goal for the national team, helping Nigeria reach the podium. When he came back to Trabzonspor, he quickly helped the team in their current Super League season. Kasim Pasa equalized in the 61st minute when Fosain Diabate scored after receiving a throw ball in the run from Irfan Khan Kaveki during the quick attack. The game stayed tied for more than 20 minutes until Alexander Subkov scored the important goal for Trabzonspor. In the 84th minute, Subkov scored a goal from the left side of the box with helping from Anthony Nwakayem, which helped the home team win a 2-1 victory. Yes, back to the EPL where I've got these on Scholes. The ex-managed Manchester United midfielder Paul Scholes has also admitted that Arsenal could win the Premier League title easily this season. The Gunners currently seated in first place, having established a 7-point gap over Manchester City and Aston Villa. Of the current top 4, Arsenal have only claimed the win against Villa, despite facing Liverpool and Unai Emery's men 2 times already and playing Manchester City once. the weekend. Mikel Arteta's men take on Manchester United, a team that defeated 1-0 on the first weekend of this campaign. School speaking on the overlap fan debate said, and I quote, one thing Arsenal haven't done is beat a team like Liverpool or Manchester City, but looking at how many points Liverpool and City are losing, I don't think they will have to. I think it will be a very easy win for Arsenal, and that is coming, that was coming, of course, from Schools. Yes, moving on, still talking APL, of course, where I've got this from the Siley, as he wants Arsenal ahead of Manchester United clash. From a Chelsea player, Marcel de Siley has warned Arsenal to be very careful. They tried to win the Premier League title under Mikel Arteta. The warning came ahead of Arsenal's clash with Manchester United in the Premier League this weekend. He said Gunners cannot afford to lose focus in their push for the Premier League title this season. The Chelsea legend wants Mikel Arteta to prioritize the league, with the UEFA Champions League and domestic cup competitions coming second. He told newsmen, he said, and I quote, Arsenal should be careful not to get too distracted by Champions League or the domestic competitions like the FA Cup. They cannot afford to lose any important games that might really hurt their progress, like their game this weekend against Manchester United. Arsenal currently leading the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League this season. However, the situation can change each week. Yes, we've got this on the AFCON 2025. I've got this groundbreaking one. Shell's future with Super Eagles uncertain after bronze medal. Well, before Eric Shell, Stephen Keshi was perhaps the last Super Eagles head coach that was widely loved. Keshi and the affection for his playing days and winning the country's African Cup of Nations title. Shell was only able to win the bronze medal and just concluded AFCON in Morocco. But it does not appear Nigerians have been impressed by how much work he has done with the team, especially in the last week. That work began with the final few fixtures in the 2026 World Cup qualifying series and extended to the AFCON. I think news football analyst said, and I quote, I think he has done a fantastic job, all things considered. Maybe there was a teething problem somewhere along the line, but you have to consider the context. We were in that situation when he arrived. He came when there was overwhelming pressure and little margin for error, so he had to adapt to be a bit rigid. AFCON showed us what is possible when he's given more time to coach his ideas. It's also worth noting that the players are fully bought into his ideas and into him as their coach. That harmony is key in international football. Since the AFCON ended, there have been calls from every quarter from the Nigerian Football Federation NFF to offer Shell a new deal. Players, fans, pundits and stakeholders have been unanimous in their opinion. The boss said common sense suggests that they retain him. I can't see how they come to any other decision. A bronze medal at AFCON is not a sackable offense, especially when elimination in the semis happened on penalties against the host nation. He also worked miracles to even get us into the World Cup playoffs that are inheriting the near hopeless situation against his arrival. Beyond that, there's a need for stability after the constant changing of coaches in the last few years. Shell has shown that he is worth backing in order to establish a strong team with irresistible player identity. So far, the NFF is yet to initiate any talks with Shell. Although the 48-year-old has 1 year left on his contract he signed, there is danger he could be lured by another team. A few African countries have expressed interest already. If Shell is tempted by another offer and leaves. I think it will be Nigeria's loss. Well, that feeling is mutual. The national team hasn't played this good in decades, and we look on course for special campaign at the next AFCON tournament. If we can prioritize stability and let him keep building what he has started, it will be disappointing to lose him and have to start again with someone else. Of course, I agree with you. It will be very, very disappointing. Yes, moving on, where I've got this on Lookman, Ademola Lookman and Napoli. As they step up chase for Ademola Lookman, Napoli have intensified contact with Atlanta to sign Ademola Lookman as a serious side look to strengthen their attack before the transfer window closes. According to second Martino, talks are decisively on the way for the Nigerian winger, who returned to Bergamo after the African Cup of Nations and is considered likely to leave between now and the summer. The newspaper adds that Lookman remains the real target of Napoli, but the formula presents a problem as the club's zero balance policy until February to complicate any economic maneuvers. Napoli cannot force the issue but are relying on Atlanta's need to sell without underselling. Also, in light of the attacking position between numerically covered by the return of former Zuri player Giacomo Raspadori, the 28-year-old has attracted interest from several clubs across Europe, including Atletico Madrid, Galatasaray, West Ham, but it is Napoli that appear most determined to secure a deal. Feature just reports that Napoli see Lookman as a player who could make an immediate impact on the squad and believe the forward profile matches the sporting projections. Feature just reported, and I quote, in Naples, they believe that the attacker profile fits perfectly into the sporting project, and his arrival would immediately raise the team's quality. Napoli financial constraints remains a challenge, with the club reportedly constrained by the internal policy of not spending more than they earn in a transfer window. Club management are therefore seeking players' exit to unlock funds for the move, with Lorenzo Luca and now Langa reportedly close to moves abroad. Atlanta widely reported to be holding out for a 40 million euros offer for the Nigerian international, who won a bronze medal at the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen revealed that he has tried to convince Lookman to join him at the Turkish champions. He said, and I quote, before playing the World Cup qualifiers, I spoke with Lookman. I told him everything about my experience at Galatasaray, how amazing the club is, and the fans are, and that when he comes, he will feel right at home. Lookman has scored 4 goals in 22 appearances across all competitions for Atlanta this season and made the CAF team of the tournament at AFCON 2025, scoring 3 goals and providing 4 assists. Yes, moving on, where I've got these on Victor Osimhen as Simeon returns. Osimhen sprays Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simeon has sprayed Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen following their 1-1 draw in UEFA Champions League on Wednesday. The Super Eagles striker played the full 90 minutes at the Rams Park after returning from the 2025 African Cup of Nations, where he missed Nigeria's third place match against Egypt due to injury. While Osimhen did not find the back of the net, the 27-year-old constantly terrorized Atletico's backline, creating 2 chances for nothing. Giuliano Simeno, the coach son, broke the deadlock inside the 4th minute, but on an own goal by Marcos Llorente, following the Roland Salah cut back, leveled the score from Okamburuk men in the 20th minute. After the game, the 2-time La Liga winner coach was impressed with Osimhen's strength and aerial ability. He said, and I quote, Osimhen is very strong. He has always being like that in the hair physically is very fast and very important for this team. So he's a very good footballer. Osimhen, who has been linked with Atletico Madrid in the past, revealed his admiration for Simon after the game. He said, I love Diego Simon. I've always been a fan of him. I've always had the opportunity to meet him a few times. They play aggressively and have a clear identity. Yeah, still on the EPL, where I've got this on touch here, as they open talks with Liverpool for Robertson move. The Tottenham Hotspur have opened talks with Liverpool over the potential move for left back and the Robertson. According to recent reports, the 31-year-old Scotland international is out of contract at the Anfield in the summer and said last week that he remains undecided about his future. Robertson is seeking regular playing time ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Spurs have made the initial approach to Liverpool, although no agreement has been reached at this stage. Robertson has started just 4 Premier League matches this season, with summer signing Milos Kakas having taken over the Liverpool first choice left back. His most recent appearance came as a substitute in 1-1 draw with Burnley on the 17th of January. Liverpool head coach and Slaughter said Robertson remains an important member of the squad and praised his professionalism following the loss of the starting role. If Robertson were to leave during the current window, Kakas would be Liverpool's only senior left back. Although the club could recall Costas Tsimikas from his loan spell at Roma, Tottenham recently completed the signing of Brazilian left back Souza and already have several options in the position. Destiny Udogie has been manager Thomas Frank's preferred choice this season, with Jed Spence also providing cover. However, the Spurs have been left short of experience after Ben Davies was ruled out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle sustained on Sunday. Davies, a 32-year-old, is currently the only Tottenham Hotspur player over the age of 30. Robertson joined Liverpool for Odd City for €8 million in 2017 under former manager Jurgen Klopp, and has made 363 appearances for the club. He has won 9 major trophies at Anfield, including 2 Premier League titles and the Champions League. Yes, moving on. We have got this big one on the highest paid female footballer. Rodman becomes world highest paid female footballer. Washington Spirit forward Trinity Rodman has become the world highest paid female footballer after signing a new 3-year contract with Washington Spirit. Our agent confirmed the 23-year-old former NBA star Dennis Rodman has been a free agent since her previous deal with the Spirit expired on December 31st, 2025. As reported by Newsman, a new contract is reportedly worth $2 million per year, including bonuses is keeping with the club through 2028. Rodman said the deal was amazing and called it a monumental and game-changing moment. Previously, Barcelona midfielder Aitana Bonmati, winner of the Ballon d'Or in 2023, 2024 and 2025, was the highest earning female footballer. The National Women's Soccer League NWSL introduced a new high-impact player rule in December 2025, allowing teams to spend to $1 million of the salary cap on exceptional players. The salary cap in 2025 was $3.5 million per team. Michelle Kanga said, and I quote, Trinity is a generational player, but more importantly, she represents the future of the club and the future of women's soccer. Rodman helped the Spirit win the NWSL champions in her debut season in 2021 and was named NWSL Rookie of the Year. She has earned 47 caps for the United States, scoring 11 goals since her debut in 2022, including 3 goals at the 2024 Paris Olympics, where the USA won gold. Her father, Dennis Rodman, has won 5 NBA championships with Detroit Pistons and Chicago Blues. Yes, moving on, where I've got these on Emmanuel Dennis. After enduring a dry spell without a club, Emmanuel Dennis finally has a new home after joining Danish club Brøndby. Brøndby announced the deal recently, noting that the player will remain with the club until the summer of 2028. Dennis has been without a club since last summer after Nottingham Forest terminated his contract as part of the squad clear-out. The Nigerian international was deemed surplus for requirement and did not feature in any of Forest preseason games before his departure. The 28-year-old has struggled for regular playing time over the past 2 seasons, but he now looks ready to put that behind him after impressing during training at his new club. The club said in a statement, and I quote, Dennis was in the first week of the club training camp and the offensive player impressed to the degree and left little doubt. That is why he is now a Brøndby player. Emmanuel has shown us over the past week with the clarity that we could wish for he possesses some skills that can give us more opportunities offensively and that you don't necessarily see every day in the Superliga. He has speed and a breakthrough power. He has also shown that he's a threat in front of football. Yes, moving on, where I've got these on Ndidi. Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi has been offered a Manchester City as he seeks to return to Premier League just 6 months after leaving Leicester City. Italian transfer expert Fabrizio Romano was revealed the 29-year-old midfielder joined Turkish giants Besiktas in the summer, bringing an end to his 8-year-long spell in England, and he's reportedly anxious to return to the Premier League. Speaking on his YouTube channel on Thursday, Romano disclosed that Ndidi has been presented to the Red Devils as a possible option to bolster their midfield for the second half of the campaign. Romano said, and I quote, one of the players that is offered to Manchester City is Wilfred Ndidi, the former Leicester City midfielder who is now playing in Turkey. He's been offered as an opportunity for his January transfer window for the midfield, despite the Nigerians' international willingness and readiness to return to England. Romano revealed that Manchester United are yet to make any formal offer for his services. He added, and I quote, offered in a sense that the player will be keen to return to the Premier League. Manchester United are aware of this stance, but at the moment, Manchester United have not made any bid or offer. The player is ready in terms of contract side, even to accept what it takes to go back to the Premier League. Reliable journalist Ben Jacobs told fan outlet the United stands that Besiktas are contemplating a sale with a loan with an option or a conditional obligation potentially on the table at roughly 12 million euros to 50 million euros. Indeed, he arrived at the King Power Stadium in January 2017 with Belgian side Genk afford 70 million euros with a monumental tax for replacing N'Golo Kante. Over approximately 8.5 seasons, he has become a fan's favorite, winning the FA Cup, the Community Shield, and the EFL Champions title. Known for his tactical and interceptions, indeed he was regularly top of top flight defensive charts in his early Leicester career. Following Leicester relegation from the top flight in 2025, indeed he joined Besiktas on a deal running until 2027, while he was adopted in Istanbul, even captaining the side recently. His desire for Premier League comeback is widely reported. Yes, moving on, still talking soccer, of course, and you're still on to Sports Diaries, where I've got this from Southampton Bus, as he opens up about Aribo's exit. Southampton Bus, Southampton interim coach, Tanda Akata. He's not ruling out player exit during the January transfer window, with Nigeria midfielder Joe Aribo reportedly attracting interest from his former club Rangers. The 29-year-old featured in 32 of the state's 38 Premier League matches last season, scoring 3 goals. However, relegation to the Championship and a charge in the technical crew have limited the London-bred midfielder involvement in his team. Aribo has just made 7 Championship appearances this season. None of them are starters. The former Charlton Athletic midfielder was linked with a return to Rangers during the summer transfer window, but no formal approach was made for the Scottish club at the time. Aribo spent 3 seasons with Rangers, scoring 18 goals and providing 11 assists in 92 league appearances before joining Southampton in 2022. Speaking to Daily Echo ahead of the Southampton clash with Sheffield United, Eckert was asked about Aribo's absence from recent matchday squads amid ongoing transfer speculations. He said, and I quote, in general, I was very happy with players we had available for match days, and that's where the situation is at the moment. The transfer window is open for another 2 weeks, then we'll see what happens. And in general, I think the squad needs to become a bit light with Aribo's contracts at Southampton set to expire in the summer. Reports suggest that clubs could accept a fee of region of 1.5 million euros for the services. In Scotland, it is understood that Rangers are prioritizing the signing of a new midfielder and a forward before the transfer window closes, a situation that could open the door for Aribo's return. The midfielder remains a fan's favorite at Ibrox and having written his name into Rangers' recent history by scoring an Europa League final defeat in Eintracht Frankfurt in 2022. Yeah, still talking soccer, of course, where I've got this on Kinsomiro as his return as through the PISA boss, PISA president Giuseppe Corrado has expressed his delight following the return of Super Eagles midfielder Ebenezer Kinsomiro from the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Kinsomiro received his maiden international call-up in December for AFCON 2025 held in Morocco, but did not see a single minute of action throughout the competition competition despite starting the Nigerian pre-tournament friendly against Egypt. The Inter Milan Loni returns with a bronze medal after Nigeria secured third place by beating Egypt and has rejoined his teammates ahead of the Pisa Serie fixtures against Inter Milan at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza on Friday. Corrado expressed his elation that one of his best midfielders is back and ready to contribute immediately to the club campaign. He said, and I quote, now Akinson Miro is back, having been away from the African Cup of Nations. He'll give us a huge boost in midfield, and other players who can waste the power will also be returning. The 21-year-old who departed the Super League camp on January 17th following the third place victory over Egypt is now fully available for selection. The game against Inter Milan promises to be a tough for the Black and the Blues, with the Nerazzurri currently sitting at the summit of the Italian top flight as the big favorite against the Pisa side that's really hanging on their serious starters. Yeah, still talking soccer. Well, I've got this on Basegi. Yes, Massa Basegi has donated 500,000 naira, approximately $350 from his African Cup of Nations bonuses to support elite goalkeepers competing in the Nigerian Professional Football League and PFL. The contributions was made to assist goalkeeper active in the domestic league. Abasogi, who currently plays for Tanzania's side, Sinigade Black Stars, has continued to maintain strong ties with Nigerian football despite playing his trade abroad. The Benin City-born goalkeeper previously featured in the MPFL with Bendel Insurance, where he established himself as one of the league consistent performers. Yes, moving on. Well, I've got this on the Red Devils and the Gunners title match. Michael Carrick could Ali Avaxta for a better start to his second temporary Manchester United tenure. But another difficult task awaits away to Premier League leaders Arsenal tomorrow. The Red Devils will deserve 2-0 victories in last weekend Manchester derby at the Old Trafford, where Manchester City were caught apart by some superb counter-attacks. The United way, if there is such a thing, was very much unsure. United had only 31.8% possession, yet they recorded 11 shots and hit the target with 7. City only had 7 attempts in the total. United shots amounted to 22.27 expected goals to City 0.45. Carrick team had 3 goals disallowed and hit the word work twice, but strikes from Brian Mbemo and Patrick Dogo got them to victory. Their performance merited after facing second in the Premier League at home. Carrick United now head at the Emirates Stadium to take on Mikel Arteta's leaders. Carrick remains unbeaten as United manager B4, W3 and D1, including his 3 games caretaker spell in 2020. 2021. But most importantly, the manner of their performance against City would have gone unnoticed. It would not be underestimating the challenge at hand. Even if the Gunners are 15 points clear for United ahead of the Sunday meeting, it is Arsenal versus United. After all, one of the English football vintage rivalries. In fact, Carrick first, and only Premier League victory in his previous stint as United caretaker boss came against Arteta Arsenal a 2-3-2v win at Old Trafford in December 2021. However, it is fair to say that Arsenal for 2026 are a different beast, and Arteta has generally at the upper end in meeting with United. He has won 67% of his 12 Premier League games against them. W8, D2 and L2, the highest win rate of any manager to face them at least 5 times. Yes, moving on. We have got this on Abello as he banks on Vinegar's revival to lift off Madrid. The Madrid route back to life this week, led by Super Vinegas Jr., who is looking to confirm his resuscitation that of his team at Villarreal on Saturday in La Liga. Second place Madrid can move top of the table with a victory before leaders Barcelona host Real Oviedo on Sunday and crush the threat of another title contender at the same time as they head to Spain. Its coast Marcelino Garcia to rob Villarreal at 37 points behind Madrid and 8 of champions back. A defeat would virtually write off any chance for a first ever title. At the emphatic 6-1 victory over Monaco on Tuesday in the Champions League, it outbiting the gloom in the Spanish capital, and then a new coach Alvaro Abello a modium of credit. It was the first glimpse of what his team might look like after the Copa del Rey last 16 defeat against Abel in the first match. At the end was the performance of the club deep in the doldrums 2 days after Xabi Alonso's departure. Yes, moving on, we have got this on Kane as he reviews secret for sensational scoring form. Yes, still talking football. We have got this on Kane as a review secret for sensational scoring from Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane has reviewed the hidden motivation behind his brilliant season with German giant Schnessel for every goal he scored after chalking up the best opening half of a campaign in Bundesliga history. Kane Bayern host Bavarian for rivals Augsburg today with just one loss in 29 games. Bayern after side setting a historic third treble more than any other team in Europe in Bundesliga. Bayern have dropped just 4 points, equalizing the best return at the stage of a season, and have scored a record of 71 goals at an average of 3.94 per game. They sit 11 points clear atop the Bundesliga through to the last 16 in a Champions League with a match spare, and are also in the quarterfinals of the German Cup. The England captain said the local restaurants near his club in south of Munich delivers the favorite German dish, schnitzel, for every goal he scored, with 34 goals this season, 21 of which have come in the league. Can goal scoring exploits have given his private chef more than a few nights off. Yes, talking transfer, manager has cried out that ex-Super Eagles captain Trista Kanga is irreplaceable as a Leafs club. Al-Khulud manager Des Bokiam has praised former Super Eagles captain William Trista Kanga for his impact at the club after he left. He called the former Nigerian captain an essential leader both on and off field. Trista Kanga, who moved to Saudi Pro club from PAOK in the summer of 2024, has now signed with Qatar club Al Alil SC in January transfer window. When he talked about the players leaving, Bokiam said the club will bring in a new player to take the place of the one who is no longer part of the team. You cannot replace William. I don't want to replace him as a player or as a person. There will be someone who comes in to take his place as a player. He also praised Kanga as the best captain he has ever worked with at a club, saying the defender has made a huge difference both during and outside the games. What I mean is William is definitely the best leader I've ever worked with at a club, the Al-Khulud manager said, adding that Kanga played a big part in helping him get used to the life of the club. He thanked the former Udinese defender for helping create the team culture and atmosphere. Bokiam ended by reminding everyone about Ekong's ongoing influence, saying the club will miss him in ways that go beyond just the game. Yes, moving on to the world of boxing. Let's quickly take this one. Joshua boxing return still uncertain. Matchroom boxer promoter Adian has expressed uncertainty over when or ever if Anthony Joshua will return to the ring following the fatal car crash in Nigeria that claimed the lives of two of his close friends. The 36-year-old British Nigerian heavyweight recently returned to training in Dubai just weeks after December 29 accident that killed the personal trainer Lateef Ayodele, a long-time strength and conditioning coach Shinagami, and who recently visited Joshua in Dubai, provided an update on the star client after meeting him for the first time since the crash. He said he was good to see him. I have not had the opportunity to see him since the terrible crash. He is of course still mourning. We're in Dubai. We're at his house staying here. That is where he lives with Lat and Shina. It is not easy. He's keeping himself busy physically. He's getting himself over the injuries that he suffered, and I think it will speak in terms. I do not think there will be anything boxing related, and that was from promoter Eddie N. Yes, let's quickly take this one, this other one unboxing. We've got this on Adesoya as he speaks on future in UFC boxing. From a UFC middleweight champion Inioluwa Adekoya has spoken on the future of his UFC division while also addressing a potential attempt into boxing before retiring. The Nigerian-born New Zealand resident will face his Joe Piper at the UFC Seattle on March 28. Dismissed the idea of boxing switch despite his reputation as one of the greatest strikers in the mixed martial arts. Speaking to Area Alwani, Adesoya explained that he preferred having all his weapons available rather than being restricted to just punches. He said, I have a prize. It is a lot. The only people that can make it happen is Saudi Arabia. I never want to get tempted to do it boxing. I want to finish in Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I don't want to get knocked. I want to fight with all my weapons. I want to be able to kick someone in the face. And if I have Soyan, the 36-year-old Adesanya, who also has a professional record of 24-5 with 16 knockout victories, holds the return for the second longest winning streak in the middleweight division history behind Anderson Silva. Yes, sir. And with that last story, we have come to an end on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this morning. Many thanks to you listener out there. Many thanks for tuning in to iPower 102.7 FM. And until you next time, I remain your favorite sports diva. Keep listening to iPower 102.7 FM because we've got great programs lined up for you. Stay sporting and God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend.